Our social media feeds are abuzz on how Colossal Biosciences supposedly resurrected the dire wolf. Cue the skepticism button. I mean, who doesn't love the idea of bringing back a prehistoric apex predator? But here's the kicker. What Colossal has actually done is engineer modern gray wolves to look and act like dire wolves, not resurrect the real deal. These three pups, Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi, are living, breathing gray wolves with an extremely minimal genetic makeover. And honestly, the whole thing is wild in more ways than one. Let's start with the hype. Colossal Biosciences has mastered the art of dramatic announcements. Press releases, teaser videos, influencer shoutouts, you name it. They've got people buzzing about the return of dire wolves like it's the next big blockbuster. But once you scratch beneath the surface, you realize these aren't the bona fide Ice Age predators that roamed North America 13,000 years ago. They're proxies, gray wolves with a handful of gene edits aimed at tweaking their skull shape, muscle density, and fur thickness. Think of it like a custom skin for a video game character, just in real life. What were the real dire wolves? Now, for a quick history lesson. Dire wolves, Inosian dirus, weren't just big wolves on steroids. They were their own species, branching off from the lineage that would become the gray wolf around 5.7 million years ago. Over the ages, they evolved into a distinct pack hunter with a broader skull, heftier build, and specialized teeth for taking down megafauna, like giant ground sloths and prehistoric horses. Genetic studies have confirmed that dire wolves and gray wolves were so different that interbreeding was essentially impossible. You couldn't have a Romeo and Juliet love story between them. They are distant cousins the same way humans and chimpanzees are. Fast forward to today. These engineered wolves are holed up in a 2,000-acre ecological preserve in the US, behind 10-foot fences and under round-the-clock surveillance. But let's be real, no one is about to open the gates and let these designer animals roam free. Too much liability, too much PR risk, and a ton of unknown ecological consequences. So they stay in a high-security compound, where they're monitored like the average Chinese citizen. And trust me, that's never going to change. Why? Because if you let them loose, they'll mingle with wild gray wolves and mess up the gene pool, or worse for Colossal, breed with stray domestic dogs and ruining their possible billion-dollar meal ticket. And that's where it gets even more interesting. These proxy dire wolves can breed with modern gray wolves. And because domestic dogs are just another subspecies of gray wolf, that means they can breed with your average doggo too. Enter the concept of the dire dog. Imagine a creature with the raw power and intimidating silhouette of a dire wolf, paired with the trainability and familiarity of a dog. It's like turning up to the dog park like you're Jon Snow marching into Winterfell. And we know who's willing to pay for that privilege. Let's talk dollars. In the world of luxury pets, price tags already run into 6, 7, and sometimes 8 figures for rare animals. Now throw in a genetically engineered hybrid that's part myth, part dog, and part biotech marvel. You're looking at potential price points in the tens of millions for that first litter. And guess who's lining up? Ultra-wealthy collectors, billionaires, celebrity investors, and yes, some of the most prominent Middle Eastern sheiks with their private menageries. These are folks who buy Ferraris like most people buy groceries. A bespoke dire dog? That's basically pocket change. Don't think for a second that Colossal is going to hand over breeding rights at first. The first wave of dire dogs will almost certainly be sold, spayed, and neutered. No puppies, no breeding. That way, Colossal keeps the monopoly on the gene-edited line. Want another one? Better write a check to them. But of course, once the tech matures and demand spikes, there will be a huge incentive to release breeding pairs at a premium price, naturally. Think hundreds of millions for a single breeding pair, maybe even flirting with $1 billion valuation for the exclusive breeding rights and the distribution of any breed with the dire wolf genes. That's not a pet market, that's a Wall Street IPO. On paper, Colossal's mission sounds noble. Restore lost species, bolster ecosystems, and undo some of the damage we humans have inflicted. But when you look at the actual rollout, luxury pricing, influencer partnerships, high-security compounds, it starts to feel less like conservation and more like a high-stakes status game. Are these animals going to help rebuild long-dead ecosystems? Or are they just going to be Instagram fodder for jet-setting elites? It's easy to get swept up in the spectacle. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a dire wolf in real life? But it pays to ask the tough questions. What happens if one of these animals escapes? How do we know the gene edits won't have unintended side effects, health issues, behavioral quirks, you name it? And most importantly, is Colossal's endgame about ecological restoration? Or is it about cashing in on the world's richest collectors? If you're enjoying this content, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our future videos.